Well, hello and welcome to Wellness by Design today. I'm Jane Hogan, the Wellness Engineer, your host, and I'm really excited today. We're going to be talking about easy fitness, how to make movement easy. And we are talking with a really good friend of mine. I'm so excited to welcome Karen Brown here today. Welcome, Karen.
Hi, Jane. Great to see you.
You know, I love what you do. You've got a channel on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram that has grown hugely this year. And I think it's because your message is so simple. It's called Easy Fitness Over 50. And you're really helping people understand that movement doesn't have to be hard. You do it all in your kitchen. You make the barrier so low for people to begin. And I know we're going to talk about all this, but I'm just really excited to see what's happened with you and how you are changing lives for people. So, first of all, I just want to say that. And I just want to tell everyone a little bit about you.
Sure.
So Karen is a dear friend of mine, and she's been a fitness instructor for 40 years. I know, look at her. She doesn't really look like it, but she's been an instructor for 40 years. She's also a health coach, and she knows so much about anatomy and physiology and how to put it all together. Also about how to use movement to create wellness in the body. So Karen, welcome to Wellness by Design.
It's great to be here, Jane.
And I want you to, if you could share with the audience a little bit about your journey and what's brought you to where you are now, and why are you so passionate about helping people move?
Well, it's an interesting story, and it goes right back to high school because I was that kid who hung out in the bathroom. I really didn't like sports. I wasn't very coordinated. I didn't excel, and it became an unpleasant thing. Exercise was not on my radar. It wasn't something that I enjoyed at all. So we'll start there. Shortly after high school, I started going to dance classes in the evening. And back then, dance classes were completely different than the way I know them now. We would have these instructors that would come in, and like you would have to do like I hate to use the term men's push-ups, but advanced push-ups and like 7 million sit-ups, and oh, you would just be working so hard for about 45 minutes. Then you got to dance for 10 minutes. And oh gosh, I just lived for those 10 minutes. I so a couple of years went by, and wow, people were starting to notice like I was stronger, my posture changed, my attitude changed. And I didn't really know, like physiologically, that these wonderful health changes were happening because of dance. The dance teacher, living in a small town, our dance teacher moved away, and there was no dance class. And I was physically craving this movement. And you know what? I was carrying around these little muscles, and I was like, oh gosh, I was thinking, wow, I'm actually quite fit. So myself and another girl who went to fitness class, we decided that we were going to work out together. I knew nothing about the principles of exercise. And we would get in we'd go to her place, and we'd go in the basement, and we'd practice all these dance moves. And of course, the warm-up section, that took 40 minutes of muscular endurance. Well, we added that to it as well. So that kind of got me going into the fitness world. And I was approached by the local YMCA, and they wondered if I was interested in teaching a class. I said, sure. So I brought all these wrong principles where I did hard things first instead of warming up. I knew nothing of those things. Anyway, long story short, I grew to love the fitness industry because it was based on music. You remember the aerobics classes from years ago. So from there was a different program in fitness then, like the province where I live, Newfoundland, they had their own Newfoundland Fitness Leaders Advisory Council, and that was affiliated with the federal government, and it was quite an intensive program. Well, I got into that. And then I started doing online courses. And of course, I always loved biology and anatomy and so on. So I kept certifying through government means and eventually started teaching the anatomy and physiology to certify other instructors. And my passion just grew. I loved the music. I loved the dance. I loved the choreography. And it was just so much fun. And exercise became a part of life because now I was enjoying it so, so very much. It was just a game changer. I never really saw it as exercise. I'm dancing, and it's 45 years later now since I started teaching, and there was no looking back. It was my favorite thing. I worked as a paralegal during the day, but this dance thing was always simmering on the back burner. So I was teaching, I was teaching 8 classes a week at night sometimes. And I loved it, loved it, loved it. But that was then, and this is now. I was younger, stronger. People would come to my classes and I practically kill them because, oh, well, that was my ego back then. But I'm 60, I'll be 66 soon. And in the last 5 years, Jane, I have been teaching a seniors fitness program. And it sounds really funny saying that because I'm one of them. It's just so funny. I don't relate that way.
You don't think of yourself as a senior.
No. So, but you know what? It was the most wonderful thing that I've ever done. And I've learned so much from them. Just the fact, like what they're prepared to do. I've always been working out. So sometimes I would be a little short-sighted as to their capabilities. So I really learned quickly how to help them. And that was probably the best part of this whole learning thing. I changed my perspective gradually over the years anyways, but that last 5 years with the elderly, and I had we had elder people living with us, like my husband's parents, who I dearly loved, and they needed help. So that was another thing I was doing. I would go down and show them little movements that would help them. Anyway, the rest is history. I've since become a certified health coach. And through, I guess, the things I'm doing online, I'm getting more feedback as to what they like. And I certainly have an insight as to what motivates them now.
Well, you know what? You and I first met at a dance class years ago.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
do you remember that? Yeah, that was fun times. But yeah, I really love what you're doing. I mean, I knew that you were teaching these fitness classes. I knew that you were into health and that you were a health coach. But what you've been doing in the last, well, it's just over a year now, right? Has been so special. And so if anyone wants to check out Karen's Facebook page or YouTube channel, you can find it under Easy Fitness Over 50, right, Karen?
That's
50
correct.
spelled
Yes.
out or 50 with the number?
50, the digits. Yeah.
50 with the
the
digits.
digit.
Okay. And you'll see she's got almost 700,000 followers now on her Facebook page. So it's really, really grown, really popular. What do you think has been the magic sauce that is really resonating with people?
I know exactly what it is, Jane. It's
Let's
the
hear.
doability factor.
Yeah.
Personally, like I still like to find something online, or like I'm into Apple Fitness. I like to go in and see other classes and stuff. But when I find something that's a little difficult, I'm not interested. I'm just, I'm not interested in that anymore. Um, People need to find something. Well, first of all, it should be enjoyable. That's a number one thing. Don't go off to a gym or don't go running for 45 minutes because if you don't like it, you're not going to stick with it. So what I try to do is create a large variety of exercises, and that can be like strength building, stretching, some little bits of dance choreography, little ways to boost your energy. And these may be like a 1 minute segment, a 2 minute segment, where I show them how to do something fun and in your kitchen, in a little space where you can do it. You can do it in your pajamas. You don't have to get all geared up. And of course, a whole lot of little makes a lot. So it's cumulative, right, for your health. So what I'm doing is just creating these doable moments, and they are so pleased with themselves when they find that they can do it. And that's the whole motivational part, because we're overwhelmed by the fact that, oh my goodness, we need to get in shape, we need to exercise, that whole we need to, like, it's overwhelming. And there are a lot of people, Jane, especially after the pandemic, who have been doing nothing, and they've been sedentary through no fault of their own. It's just the way that it worked. So that whole change can be overwhelming. Whereas if you have a little something like, hey, try, like, I'm going to show you these like 10 little steps. Try them, see if you can do them. Next thing you know, they're working their brain, they're putting it together, they've done it. Well, guess what? That feels great. It helps their confidence, makes them want to do more. Next thing you know, like, they're doing it 10 times a day because it's doable, it's fun, and it's helping them. They're losing weight, they're feeling better. It helps with anxiety, it helps with blood circulation, which nourishes the whole body. And I could just go on and on all day about the health benefits, but it is the doability factor. It's just getting that little thing done and knowing that it contributes to their overall health. They can play that little video over 5 times if they like. And of course, I offer other options because some people are ready to move into longer things. But it really is the doability factor, making it fun, and just being myself and just having fun and making them feel comfortable.
Yeah, I think a big part of it is your charm, right? You're just so charming and fun, and you're a great role model for people. They're not looking at this, younger person, that's all fit and strong and muscular telling them what to do. Like, it's kind of like you're one of them, right? Even though you are beautifully fit almost age 66. And so I think that's been part of the charm as well. And so people that are watching this, a lot of my audience are people with chronic pain, and they are probably thinking, there's nothing I can do. But I think if you look at Karen's exercises, they're very simple. Like, you're standing at your sink, or you're standing at your countertop, or you could be sitting down. I noticed that you've been doing some chair movements as well. So there's really something there for everyone. And so what would you say to someone who's got chronic pain, and what kind of movements could they and should they be doing?
That's a really good question, Jane. First and foremost, for example, if you have osteoporosis, or if you have some spinal issues, hip replacements, whatever your condition is, it's really important for you to seek that medical advice or professional physiotherapist, whatever, to show you what your ranges of motion or what your limitations are, because one size doesn't fit all when it comes to exercise. So if you are armed with that information and you know what your limitations are, well, almost all of what I do is doable. And as you said earlier, I do a chair program, and I do a lot of standing exercises. I use the countertop is an incredible, incredible tool. People have no idea. They think, oh, well, only an older person would want to use the countertop. But I can do things that are even better because I actually have the support of the countertop. I can go deeper into certain muscle groups. So the thing that I would recommend is almost like a little smorgasbord of activity. Like, the more kinds of movement, the better. Don't always just pick the obvious pattern to move your arms. Like, there's a million ways to move them. There's tons of ways to stretch them. There's all kinds of ways to move your hips and your feet. Just do what feels good and be really careful. Like if you do have osteoporosis, like bending forward, which is something I do quite frequently, may not be right for you. So please come armed with that. But the
Mhm.
key is if you are having pain, I mean, exercise increases circulation, it helps with synovial fluid. If you have knee pain, for example, the problem may actually be that the muscles surrounding the knee joint are not strong enough. So as you become stronger, you're going to actually be able to have better balance and mobility. So find the root cause of your pain and start to move. And of course, we've all heard that motion is lotion. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. All of these things are very, very true. So the key is to get moving and let's build those muscles, increase the flexibility, increase the strength and mobility, and do it gradually. Don't worry about, well, I have to do a certain thing or I have to have a certain strength. The key is we don't want to be 80 years old or 70 years old sitting in a chair and not able to get up. Those are probably the most important exercises of all. Big muscles, your glutes and your quads. If you're not
Mhm.
using them, you're going to lose the ability to get up. And we need to be mindful of that. That's probably one of the most important messages that I could send to everybody. Because even teenagers today may have trouble getting up because that whole sitting process. And if I could just take a moment, yeah, I just feel so strongly about this. I don't think people realize when you sit for long, long periods that you're shortening your hip flexors, you're lengthening your gluteal muscles. Your gluteal muscles, like they're the biggest muscles. They're the ones that get you up off the chair. We need to keep those strong. So when we're watching TV, I do it. I binge watch. Set a timer for every 30 minutes and do some of these sit to standing type exercises. Keep
Mhm.
those big muscles moving because once those glutes get overextended, it's hard to use them. And the hip flexors get tight. Next thing you know, it's lower back. So it goes on and on. It just piles up and then, you're totally dysfunctional. But
And everything's
that's
connected.
absolutely, absolutely.
I really appreciate your passion, Karen, and it's really infectious. What about balance? Like, how important is balance in all of this?
Well, balance is huge. And sometimes people don't recognize why they lack balance. Some people may just perceive it like you could have vertigo, like a legitimate imbalance, but you have to have like stability comes from having that strength. And, standing on one leg with one foot off the floor is a great way to build balance, but there's more to it than that. Like lateral movement, like step together step going across a floor is going to totally help you with balance, walking forward and backwards, walking in circles, putting your arm out here while your legs out there, all these little things. I cover a lot of those, and those are important. Move in as many ways as you can, because that's going to enhance balance too. And as we get older and we're more sedentary, our
Hmm.
balance is not quite as good. So we have to do some of these wacky, weird things to keep things in check because we're not running around like we used to. And some very simple things can totally change how you're going to be in your 80s. Really,
Hmm.
such simple things. And like these posture muscles, that's another big one, Jane. Like we all have forward head posture, we use our chest muscles way too much. They get shortened.
Yeah.
And the muscles that are going to keep us sitting up are the muscles back here between the shoulder blades. And we need to activate them and use them. And it's so easy to do. And once, like, well, when they get too stretched, you probably wouldn't know this because you're a yoga person. So, but when people are used to this, it's very taxing to sit up straight. But when you do these few little exercises, they're not big at all. Oh, it feels so good. There's so many little things that you can do to keep moving.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as you say the word posture, I'm like, okay, shoulders down and back.
Yeah, down and back.
I got to get straight again. Yeah, such great points, Karen, that all of these things together, well, really, they're impacting our lives, right? If we feel like we can't get up easily and sit down easily, if we feel like we're not very stable, or if we can't get comfortable, in even just standing for very long, these kinds of things are impacting our lives. And so what you're doing is really helping people with the quality of their life. They're improving the quality of their life just through these little, I mean, they're small but fun movements that you're teaching.
Yeah, little mini lessons. I
Little
think
mini
I've done this.
lessons, and people love it. I've seen some of the comments on your page, and people say things like, every time you come on, I do a little bit of movement, right? So whenever they see your videos, they'll do a little bit, and a little bits add up, right, over time.
Oh,
So yeah,
definitely.
yeah, it's really, really a beautiful thing. So how has all of this, that you're having this big impact on people through what you're doing? How has that, how does that like inspire and motivate you?
Oh, well, that is the big motivational thing, like that's so inspiring for me. Well, we know how mental health is. I mean, if we can serve and have a purpose. And for the first time in my life, I mean, I've always loved fitness and I've always, and I love people. But be doing this, like in my heart, I just know that people are benefiting from it because I know how it works and I'm so passionate about it. And it's coming, the proof is in the pudding, like I get a lot of feedback about how these things are helping,
Yeah.
and so doable and so easy. And yeah, I love doing this. I know I'm helping people who were feeling that they had no hope,
Yeah.
like they didn't feel that exercise or movement was in their reach. They had put themselves in a certain, mindset, and they never thought that they could do this. But, add a little music and, even something simple like getting up in the morning and saying to yourself, I'm turning some music on. Whatever happens, happens. And it changes everything. And five
Music.
minutes
Yeah.
your favorite song is like life changing, endorphins, and you're just doing your thing. Nobody's watching. And even if they are, entertain them. But yeah,
I think about little babies and little toddlers, when you put music on, they naturally start dancing. Like I feel like we are wired to move to music. And so I think you're right. Like putting on some music, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's something you like and makes you move, that's all that matters, right?
it's
Um,
in our biology, Jane. I mean, there's all kinds of
yes.
studies that have shown, in different cultures all over the world. I mean, it's a global thing, and it shows up in all cultures. And some cultures, express themselves in their community through dance. So yeah, no, it's in our biology. We were meant to move, that for one thing, but moving to music is just incredible,
Mm.
just incredible. So good for you.
Part of who we are. All right, Karen, we're coming to the end now, and I always ask my guests this one question because this is called Wellness by Design. It's about living intentionally. And I love the baby steps as well. So, could you tell us one baby step someone could take today that's going to begin initiating healing in their body? What would you advise as the one baby step?
Well, you have to just remove this daunting feeling about exercise. Just forget that. Put that aside. Pick something. Take 2 minutes. Plan 2 minutes. Pick something that you love, and it could be just putting that music on, and just simply do it. Get up and do some reaching, do some movements, or if you want to follow me, you'll find all kinds of ideas. But that doesn't matter. but do that little bit of movement. And once you've done that, that sense of accomplishment is going to set a whole chain of events. And that's what I recommend. Don't get overwhelmed with the big picture. Don't think about how much weight you're going to lose or whatever. Just think about how you want to feel better, and that these little baby steps are very powerful. Plan that 2 or 3 minutes. Everyone could do that, and
I
just
love it.
do it.
I love it. And Karen, you've got a gift for the audience today. So you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, there are 3 5-minute workouts. I deliberately set them at 5 minutes because, once again, with that mindset, we can all do 5 minutes, right? It's
Yep.
got a little tiny bit of warm up and you get to work out for 5 minutes. And it's all simple, gentle cardio that anyone can do, but there's enough fun in it to motivate you. And you could do all three of them if you like. But, there's three variations, mild cardio. And yeah, there's three of them there. And I've
I love
had
it. And we'll have the link there for people to sign up. It's totally free. You can just download them and do them. So your baby step that Karen was talking about could be 5 minutes. Just
that.
do one of those for five
That's a
minutes.
beautiful, yeah, that's a beautiful baby step.
Love it. Love it. Okay, so let's just tell the audience again, where are the best places to find you?
Well, our website is up now. So that's www.easyfitnessover50, the digital 50.com. So that's available. You can find a bunch of stuff in there. And of course, it's Easy Fitness Over 50 is my Facebook page. I have a Facebook group too, which is a little different. I do put all my videos there, but like it's a great way to share, your experiences, as you know. I'm actually on TikTok and Instagram and
YouTube.
I think and YouTube. Yes, of
YouTube.
course. YouTube. Yes. Yep. So
Okay,
all of those are
perfect.
available.
And we'll have all those links so you can, wherever you like to, see videos and connect with people, you can follow Karen on any of those channels. So Karen, this has been really fabulous. And I gotta say, I just love what you're doing. I love the energy you're putting out in the world, your fun, your pleasantness, the just the enthusiasm that you have, and it's infectious and it's spreading to other people. And I just love to think that this energy that you're putting out is now spreading to other people, and it's helping their lives as well. So thank you so much for the beautiful work that you're doing.
Well, you're very welcome, Jane, and you're doing great work too. And I'm proud to call you my friend.
Well, me too. It's likewise. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, whether you're watching this or listening. And please share this with someone who needs to know. We all have someone in our lives that maybe needs the message that movement doesn't have to be difficult. It can be really easy. And you can follow Karen at Easy Fitness Over 50. Thanks so much. Bye for now.